From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Our top stories this week. We examine a forklift that has been modified for use by disabled persons. ABB Robotics showcases 3 of its new robot welding packages. And we look at the defence-industrial relationship between South Africa and Britain. Disabled people are often excluded from performing active duties in warehouses and other logistics operations. However, with Manitou machine dealer Deso Equipment's modifications to a forklift, disabled people are now able to actively contribute to the day-to-day operations in warehouses. Henry Lazenby reports.
Forklifts have a multitude of pedals and other controls to operate the machine, which often excludes disabled persons from working in warehouse environments. Deso Equipment has modified a Manitou forklift for disabled use, as Manitou subcontractor Stephen Alcott explains.
There was a need for a paraplegic / quadriplegic machine for the controls. So what we did is we took the feet control, the acceleration, the braking, and all the hand controls for the forklift, and we threw it together in one joystick controller. So the joystick and the function of the joystick would be your forward movements of your joystick will be your acceleration or the variable speed control, and the reverse of the joystick would be your braking as well, also variable braking. Then your left and right of your joystick will be your steering left and right.
Deso Equipment GM Cindy Smith believes that while the first disabled-friendly machine will go on trial at a large local brewery, there exists substantial interest in similar modifications from large mining houses and other clients.
Once it was agreed to that we'll do it, we brought in Steve, which he supplied all the components for this, him and the mechanical engineer for Manitou, Yanni Smith. They both designed and worked on it. And it came in, and at the moment the machine's going into the field and it's out there for them. We have contacted the Disabled Association to come and have a look and give their input on the machine and what they would like to see in the machine different from what it is now. Because this was the first machine we've done. There's a few more to come, and in the industry we can do it to any machine basically.
With Deso Equipment modifying forklift trucks, disabled persons are no longer precluded from working in warehouse environments. I am Henry Lazenby for Creamer Media Television, Johannesburg.
ABB Robotics used the 2010 Electromining Expo to showcase 3 of their new robot welding packages. Marianne O'Donnell has more.
ABB and welding specialists Fronius partnered together to introduce 3 new welding packages that were launched at Electromining at the beginning of the month, one of which is the first of its kind in Africa. ABB Metal Fabrication Segment Manager Robin Schell explains.
The 3 products being showcased are CMT Pro, that's Cold Metal Transfer Pro, an Africa first in the TransSteel 5000 with its own transynergic root synergic lines, and the Time Twin, which is 2 power sources running in a master and slave setup off 1 welding torch. Starting with CMT is cold metal transfer. It allows you to weld exceptionally thin or high value materials with the least amount of heat input. The TransSteel 5000 has its, as I said earlier, the transynergic pulse on the root, which allows for quicker root and capping facilities, and a very cost-effective type of setup for general fabrication. And the Time Twin is an exceptionally high-speed, high-deposit, heavy welding setup.
With the establishment of democracy in South Africa, defence and defence-industrial relations between this country and Britain were re-established. Keith Campbell reports.
In the 16 years since the United Nations arms embargo on South Africa was lifted, there has been significant progress in the development of Anglo-South African defence-industrial and technological relations. I asked Alan Malpass, United Kingdom Trade and Investment, Defence and Security Organisation, Regional Director for Africa, the Middle East, Central and South Asia, to give a concise overview of the relationship today.
As you're aware, over the last 10 years or so, we've been involved in working with the South African government and UK industry to deliver significant offset obligations that arose from the major defence deal in the 1990s. That has been very successful, and it's given the opportunities for a number of South African companies to grow with investment from UK companies and become leaders in a number of areas of technology. Denel is a good example, and the work that they are now doing on the Airbus programs and the A400M. Going forward, the UK has a defence acquisition budget of around £18 billion per annum. 40% of that is spent overseas, and therefore there are significant opportunities for South African industry and business to become involved in UK equipment programs, both as partners with UK defence firms, also through the firms that have been established in South Africa on the back of the offset obligations, but also in their own right.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insights into South Africa's real economy.